Hey guys, it's Jessie and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Beauty Bay first impressions video. You guys know that I do these literally every time there's a new Beauty Bay palette, and today is no different. 2 days ago now they released the dark fantasy palette and I obviously picked it up. I always do for these videos, and this is what the palette looks like. So it's a £20 palette, it retails for £15. If you are interested, I will link it in the description. But yeah, this is just what the palette looks like. So we've got a good mix of greens, grungy tones, really quite dark. I believe this is their holiday release, but yeah, kind of some neutrals in there too, and a couple purples and blues. But I do find Beauty Bay palettes are often overrun by blues, so I was quite pleased that there seemed to be more unique tones to kind of some of their other palettes that they've put out in the last few years. This is the look that I created with this palette. I will be doing it in this video so you guys can see that, but first of all we are going to just be doing some swatches, and yeah, I think without further ado I don't have very much else to say, so yeah, let's get into it. I am not a huge fan of this packaging, I can't lie though. But anyway, so I'm going to be going across the rows, row by row. So firstly we have the shades Atmosphere, Hoax and Transmission. The shade Transmission is the gold that I actually have on my eyes. I kind of blended it in more with the green though, so it might look a little bit greenish, but ignore the bracelet please. We have Atmosphere here. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't swatch that on camera. I've clearly forgotten what I'm doing. It is just a white shade, but it's pretty pale, I can't lie. After a while it does build up a bit more, but it's quite pale. Then we've got Hoax, which seems to be a slightly warm not leading. So yeah, that's what Hoax looks like there. That's just one swatch. And then we've got Transmission, which is a really pretty gold shade, and that is what that one looks like there. So it's kind of the classic Beauty Bay formula, super duper reflective, really sparkly, and you can actually see it on the eyes. I think it is very pretty. So then the next three shades we have are Plasma, which is kind of like a minty green, Virtual, which seems to be a matte with shimmer, and then Reality, which is kind of a maroony shade. So that is what the three of those look like on the fingers. I think this one, Plasma, is such a unique shade, but oh, this bracelet's so annoying, I actually can't get it off, so we're just gonna have to live with it. But firstly we have Plasma, which is just this kind of minty green colour. Again, this is just one swatch, there you can see it there. Then we've got the shade Virtual, which is that matte with shimmer. It's definitely, I mean, when I blew it there, a lot of the shimmer kind of actually came off, so I reckon you could use this as just a matte, but you can definitely see some shimmer running through there. I'm just gonna have to hold this like this and look really stupid. And then we've got that shade Reality there as well, and that is what that one looks like. Just going over that to blend it out a bit, and that's what that one looks like. So again, a kind of maroony, purpley, plummy colour. Definitely a lot darker than I think you would see in most palette, which is nice because you don't really get a lot of dark maroony reddy colours, I don't think. Continuing on the second row, we have the shade Encrypted, the shade Slime and the shade Machine. Encrypted actually feels a bit drier than the other shades, I don't know why. You can see the leftovers of that maroony shade there, but these are the shimmers and Slime in the middle. Very, very pretty, especially that green I think is gorgeous. Then swatching it, we've got the first one, which is Encrypted. That is super, super pretty. Really excited to put that in a more neutral look. Then we've got the shade Slime, which is kind of like a bright like grass green, quite pretty there. And then lastly we have the shade Machine, which might have a little bit of the purple in. Okay, good, it doesn't. That is the shade there, a really pretty kind of like dark teal, I guess. I really haven't seen very much like that in a palette, I don't think, before. So that seems like a super unique shade. Then next up we have the really dark green, which is Spaced here, and then Nightmare and Grunge. I don't think Nightmare has quite as much sparkle as the other shades, but we'll still swatch it all out. So the first shade is Spaced, that kind of dark green there, that is really, really pretty. Then we've got Nightmare. So yeah, that's just kind of more of a bit of a dull metallic, to be honest. I don't know if you can see, these have got some really reflective particles, and this one just doesn't really, so that's kind of just a basic metallic there, unfortunately. And then we've got Grunge, which is this purple shade. I will swatch that again because it's on my ring finger, which is my weakest finger, and that is what that shade looks like there. So a little bit patchy on the arm, again not too sure how that would go on the eye. I haven't actually used it yet, but that is the shade there. And then now finishing off this row, we've got one of my favourite shades in the palette, I actually think, and that is the shade Hack here, really pretty in the middle. It's kind of like a pinky white duochrome. Then we've got Algorithm, just a true kind of warm poopy brown, a favourite shade. And then we've got Distortion, which is this kind of, I don't really know how to describe it, that one. Just a reddy, kind of purpley toned shimmer, I guess. So obviously you can see a little bit of staining on my fingers, but here we have Hack, then Algorithm, and then Distortion. So kind of running out of space on my arm, but we'll just move. So firstly we have Hack there. You can see a tiny bit of green in there from my last swatch, ignore that, but that is just a really pretty kind of white to pink shimmer. Then we've got the brown Algorithm. They're just a classic brown. I think I'll use a lot of that. And we've got Distortion, which is here. So that one, again, like the shade Nightmare, doesn't have too much shimmer in it, unfortunately. Not compared to, like, I don't know if you can see the difference between like this shade, and then these two. They're just not quite as sparkly, and I really don't know why. But then we've got the final row, and I think I'm going to have to, can I fit it on? Maybe if we're lucky, I can fit this on. This bracelet's really annoying me now. You're not meant to take it off, but it's getting on my nerves now. So ignore that, and I think the rest of the swatch is still fine. But then the final row, we've got Dark Matter, which is like a black, basically. Looks a bit more grey toned than a regular black. Dark Matter, Grime, and Source, and then we're going to do Code and Hardcore just after that. So that's these three there. The shade Source here is definitely more of a periwinkle. It's got some purple tones, but again, it's not quite as sparkly as that middle one. So firstly we have the shade Dark Matter, which is just the black there. Then we've got Grime, which is a really pretty silver shimmer. That's definitely kind of the classic Beauty Bay formula. Really like quite reflective as well. And then we've got Source, which I'm going to do at the bottom here. That's really pretty. That's not quite as reflective, but that's such a nice tone. I don't know how you can see, really pretty. So I'm going to do the final two, Code and Hardcore. I'm just going to do them up back at the top here because we do have a little bit of space. So the shade Code I'm doing just here, and that is a really gorgeous kind of silver shimmer. Got a lot of sparkle in that one. And then we have the shade Hardcore just at the top here, which is a mega pigmented, wow, that was literally just one swatch, mega pigmented dark blue. So this is the Dark Fantasy palette. Obviously my swatches aren't amazing. I'm still really impressed by that top swatch, Jesus. That blue is really pretty. So we do unfortunately have 2 or 3 of the shimmers aren't quite the same Beauty Bay, like really reflective formula, unfortunately. But overall, I think this is a pretty unique colour story. You've got some neutrals, but you've also got a lot of pops of colour, and the Beauty Bay shimmers that are like high quality are really gorgeous. So overall, I think this is a really pretty palette. I will just show you the swatches up close one more time. So yeah, that is the palette, and now we can get into me doing this look. Good morning, guys. So I am just going to get straight into it. So we've got the Dark Fantasy palette here. It's going to be my first time playing with it. I will apologise if you can hear some construction work. I don't think it's loud enough to pick up on camera, but hopefully you can't hear it. If you can, I'm very sorry. But firstly, I'm just going to prime my eyes. I'm just going to pop a bit of concealer on there and then set it with the lightest shade in the palette, which is a white, which is Atmosphere. I know people don't often like whites and light colours, but I always like them to set my eyes, so I always get a good amount of use out of them. So just gonna grab the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This is the 16-hour one. This is starting to run out. I literally use this on my eyes every day, and hopefully we can use this up soon, but who knows. This is gonna be my first time playing with the palette. When I'm filming this, I literally haven't even swatched it yet. Obviously you've already seen that section of the video, but yeah, I'm very excited. This arrived yesterday. Normally I like to do the videos straight away and upload them that day, but I had an appointment at 5:15, and that was for like an hour, and the palette arrived at 5:10. So by the time I got back, it was like 6, and I was like, there's no way I can film, edit and upload an actual high quality video in the next 2 hours, because I don't really like to upload after 8 PM my time. Just 'cause I find that a bit late, and I was like, you know what, I'd rather just take my time with it tomorrow morning and then upload it then, and that's what we're doing today. So firstly, going in with the lightest shade, Atmosphere. I think, I actually don't know what I'm doing for a look, I cannot lie, but I'm going to pop that one all over the lid just to set it down. Obviously you can't really get many issues with the white, it's just a white really, isn't it? And that is my lids all set, no issues there. There is a tiny bit of kick up in the pan, but actually there's much less than usual. Normally Beauty Bay have a little bit more kick up, but there's like a tiny bit there, so that's obviously very good. I do like the neutrals in this palette, I can't lie, but I think for today's look we will do something a little bit more interesting. Just peeling off the little mirror bit, that's always so satisfying. I think what I want to do is maybe try and do machine into transmission here. These two shades, would they mix? Maybe, who knows? With the greens in the crease and this darker green on the outer corner to deepen it up. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to try a different way of doing my makeup today, which is exciting. Normally I will always do lightest to darkest, but I think today I want to try darkest to lightest and see how that goes. So I'm just going to grab this brush from Spectrum and I'm going to dip into the shade Spaced, which is this one here, and then I'm going to try and blend it out with plasma and we'll see how that works. I don't know how pigmented plasma is going to be, but I'm just going to grab Spaced on this brush and just pop it into my outer corner here. That so far looks really pretty. It's a really nice kind of slightly blue toned forest green, really gorgeous. I really like that shade, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Just kind of tap that on there. Okay, so now they are all packed on. I'm going to go in with plasma and we'll see if this is too bright to blend it out, like too light, but who knows. Do you think that works? Maybe, we'll see. Anyway, just going to brush that together, blend it out. Okay, so that's definitely gone a lot more kind of turquoise than green, and I think they blend together really nicely, but it has blended away some of that green. So I think I'm going to go in with a bit of slime, which is like a true green here, and pop that through the crease just to give it some more green because it's looking very turquoise. Okay, so I've swapped brushes because that one's just not the best, and I'm going to go back in with slime again and blend that through. There you go, that's much better. And now I want to bring some of that Space shade back, so I'm just going to tap that into the outer corner there. I think it definitely works best if you go from light to dark actually with this palette, I can't lie. Okay, so that is what we have for the crease. Very messy, obviously, but we do just need to kind of put some shimmer on and then I can clean it up afterwards. That's what I kind of always do. I leave the crease a little bit messy and then do the blending more throughout the look, really. It's getting a little bit just not blending super well on this outer corner here. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, I'm kind of blending it away as much as possible and it's just kind of sticking there in like that shape. This one, it's done it a little bit, but it's actually just blended out much better. This one, I don't know why it's not working so well, but that is probably something that we can fix in a little bit. So I'm going to go straight in with the colour on the lid, and I think I'm going to try and do the shade Machine here and blend it into Transmission. I don't know how well it's going to go, but obviously we will just have to see. So I'm going to pop this on. I might actually put this on with a little brush just because more fiddly. So I'm going to pop Machine on first. And then try to blend it into Transmission. Oh, they're quite different colours, I can't lie. Okay, I actually think that looks kind of nice with the gold on the lid. I'm going to do a little bit more just of blending the edges of these shades together, because obviously they are quite contrasting. Overall, I think that's kind of cute with the gold. Obviously it looks very messy, so I do need to clean that up, but I kind of like that. I think it's kind of cute. So I'm going to do the same on the other side now. Okay, so that is the other side now done too. So yeah, you can definitely see in the crease it's looking a little bit patchy at the moment. Obviously we have not cleaned anything up yet, so I wouldn't judge it off of this. I feel like my looks always look a bit dodgy because I don't do my full blend until after I've got my base on. But speaking of which, I am going to go and do my base now, and then I'll join you for the lower lash line. So that is my base done. Before I do my setting spray, I'm just going to do my lower lash line. So I'm not too sure what I want to do. I might just do, I'm trying to choose between these lighter shades down here. I think that grey would be a little bit too dark, and then I don't know whether that pink would go. So I think I'm going to do the shade Cube down here, which is kind of like a silver, and I'm going to do the green into that. So I'm going to just grab my little brush that I was using, or not because I can't find it. I'm going to grab a different brush and I'm going to grab the dark green Spaced on there and just pop that along the lower lash line, just to kind of like the middle part, so like to there, if that makes sense. So now I've got that on both sides. I'm going to grab a little bit of, oh, it's not called Cube, it's called Code. That's actually quite a lot of it, so I'm going to grab it and pop it on the inner part of my lower lash line. Sorry, I'm leaning down so you can't really see this. And I'm going to do the same on the other side, and then I'm just going to pop that on my inner corner as well. That'll be my inner corner shade. Okay, I don't know if you can see, I've got a lot of fallout of it here. It's definitely a very flaky shade, so I am just going to just try and buff that away. Okay, so I think that is the final look. So I'm just going to pop some mascara and lip gloss on now, and then I will join you with my final thoughts. Okay, so here is the final look, and I am so pleased with it. I think it's really pretty. The kind of patchiness went away. I definitely don't think it looks super patchy anymore, and I think the green actually went really well with the gold. They blend really nicely together, and I'm just super happy with it. I think it matches my top nicely as well. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this palette. It definitely wasn't one I probably would have picked up if it wasn't for me doing this video, but I actually think it's really gorgeous. I think you can do some really gorgeous neutrals here, and obviously I haven't even touched the kind of purples and blues, and there's this really gorgeous kind of like warm purple colour down there, like a plum colour as well, that I think would be stunning. So I think this actually might be kind of mid to top for my Beauty Bay palettes that I have. So I'm really glad I did pick this one up. Again, it's only £15, so I would really recommend if this looks like type of colours that you'd like. I'll leave the link in the description. But yeah, overall I'm very pleased with this one. So yeah, if you guys liked this video, don't forget to give it a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on the bell to join a little club, and make sure you turn on all notifications. Then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. If you want to watch one of my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!